Welcome everyone who will join us on Zoom and also people who are joining us on Facebook. I'm Faisal Saleh, the founder and executive director of the Palestine Museum US. And today we are very excited about holding a virtual art opening of the exhibit, The Impossible Dream. It's an exhibit of Palestinian artists, 19 artists and 33 works of art. That is actually, it's a physical exhibit in Washington, D.C. At the Zenith Gallery Art Space at 1111 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest in Washington, D.C. I would like to introduce our chief curator, Nancy Nesvet, and she will take us through the next stage of these proceedings. Please welcome Nancy Nesvet.
Hi, thanks so much for joining us for the Meet the Artist reception of the show, The Impossible Dream. We are happy to have 7 of the 19 artists represented in the show joining us today to talk about their work. And we will happily talk about the work of the artists who could not join us today. The artists and we will answer questions, address comments, accept compliments posed today. The artists and we will answer those questions and address those comments on Facebook and also on Zoom chat, which you can access during the show. So please raise a virtual glass to this very socially distanced reception and enjoy it. If you can, visit the physical space where the show is at 1111 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest in Washington, D.C., where the public is welcome daily. You can see our website for more details, and please wear your mask. We would especially like to thank and note our co-sponsor of the show and director of Zenith Gallery DC, Marjorie Goldberg, who has generously hosted the show at her 1111 Zenith Sculpture Space. Whereas the inside wall of the exhibition is behind museum director Faisal Saleh, which you just saw, the view behind me is the exhibition as viewed from 12th Street Northwest in Washington, D.C., around the corner from the entrance on Pennsylvania Avenue. So now, on with the show.
Okay, so we will use the catalog of the exhibit and we will follow through the pages talking about each artist as we go. Before we do that, I'm going to share with you our website where you can actually see the exhibit. There is information about the exhibit, and also underneath here there's a button that says View Catalog. You can click on that, and that will allow you to browse through the exhibit catalog, okay? Next, we will share a view of the exhibit from the street. And this is what it looks like from 12th Street. You can hear the ambient noise from the street. This is amateur photography, of course. Hope nobody gets dizzy watching this. This is the catalog. Okay, so this is the back cover of the catalog in Arabic, Al-Hilm al-Mustahil. And this is a list of the artists. Let me read through the list quickly. Eileen Victor Abdo, Karim Abu Shakra, Maria Eugenia Akil, Muhammad Al-Hajj, Nahla Asia, Sana Farah Shara, Manal Deeb, Isra Ahmed Frehat, Samia Halabi, Hayaka Abne, Reem Khader, Samar Husseini, Sahar Kamhawi, Solange Diaz Marcos, Rania Matar, Namir Qasim, Taqi Spatin, Amal Sobeh, and Ruby Yunus. All these people have one thing in common. They're all of Palestinian origin. First artist is Mohammed Al-Hajj.
Mohammed will be joining us today. Mohammed Al-Hajj is a young Gazan artist creating abstract, expressive, and pop art portraits, as well as relief sculpture and black and white graphics depicting the Arab and Palestinian spirit. Granted his BA in Fine Arts at Al-Aqsa University in Gaza City, Palestine, his work has been featured in exhibitions and art festivals in and outside Palestine, including 4 solo exhibitions. He is here today and will tell you about his work and his unique technique in creating it. Mohammed?
مساء الخير عليكم جميعا. برحب بكم من مدينة غزة فلسطين.
Good evening, everybody. Talking to you from Gaza, Palestine.
سعيد جدا بهذه المشاركة في سلسلة فعاليات المتحف الفلسطيني في أمريكا.
I'm very happy to participate in these activities of the Palestine Museum US.
خاصة إنه هذه المشاركة تأتي مع نخبة من الزملاء الفنانين اللي تعرفت عليهم عبر
Particularly, this comes as part of a group of Palestinian artists that I've come to know recently.
طبعا أنا أنهيت دراستي الأكاديمية من جامعة الأقصى تخصص تربية فنية عام 2004.
I finished my study at Al-Aqsa University in 2004, studying art education.
وحاليا بعمل في مجال تدريس الفنون وبالإضافة إلى أني بمارس الفن على مدار اللحظة.
And currently I'm involved in teaching art and also I'm a practicing artist. Go ahead.
لحتى الآن صرت عامل 3 معارض فردية.
And up till now I have 3 solo individual exhibits. محمد احكي لنا شوي عن التماثيل ال3 اللي عندك لأن ما عندناش وقت كثير لكل فنان يعني.
اوكي طبعا انا اشتركت ب3 اعمال نحتيه كانت ضمن سلسله اعمال قدمتها في معرض الاول وكان بعنوان ملامح فلسطينيه عام 2007.
Yeah, I'm participating with 3 sculptured pieces that I participated with in another exhibit in 2007.
هذه الأعمال حاولت أعالج فيها قضية المرأة الفلسطينية ونضالها وتقديمها لأبنائها الشهداء أو ممكن الشهداء يكون ابنها، زوجها، أخوها. فسيرة ومسيرة المرأة الفلسطينية عبر التاريخ النضالي حافل بالقصص وبالمواقف، فحبيت أن أقدمها ضمن ال3 أعمال الموجودة أمامكم.
Yeah, these 3 works address the contribution and the story of the Palestinian women who might have had their sons, fathers, or brothers or husbands martyred in their struggle for Palestine.
استخدمت تقنية اللي هي استخدام خامة الكرتون المقوى واللي عادة بيستخدم في المجسمات الهندسية.
I used for my sculpture reinforced cardboard that's used in some of the architectural works.
ومن ثم قمت بعملية عمل طبقات معينة عشان أحصل على البعد الثلاثي ويتحول الشكل إلى شكل مجسم.
So and I used multiple layers to achieve the 3D look to create the 3rd dimensional look of the work.
أيضا استخدمت مواد خاصة لتأسيس الكرتون عشان يتحمل عوامل التعرية.
And I use special material to strengthen the cardboard so it would withstand some of the work that I had to do with it.
بعد ذلك استخدمت ألوان أكريليك وخصوصا الألوان الذهبية لأنه كان الهدف إني أظهر القطعة النحتية وكأنها زي قطعة نحاس أو قطعة برونز تقدم كشكل نهائي للعمل.
Well, I use special colors so that the work would have the look of a statue made out of copper or bronze. You could see it a little bit. As you can see here, there's no doubt that these things look like they're made out of metal. But in reality, they are made out of cardboard, painted to look like metal. Amazing.
Mhm.
Nancy?
Thank you so much.
Samar Husseini.
And we do have the pleasure of having Summer here today, so I'll speak very briefly and then give her the floor. Summer Husseini is a Palestinian-American fine artist and graphic designer working, creating, and living outside of New York City in West Orange, New Jersey. After receiving a Bachelor of Arts from the University of Maryland and a double major in studio art and art history, Husseini began her career with a 1993 art residency and solo exhibit at Darat El Fanoun in Amman, Jordan. After graduating from Pratt Institute in Brooklyn with an MS in communication design, Husseini's advertising work won awards, including the Silver Award from DTC and others. She'll be joining us today to talk about her wearables, which are magnificent Bemberg cloth painted designs, as well as her sculptures, which you can see in the show. Summer, please.
Oh, thank you so much, Nancy and Faisal, for this opportunity to share my work. It's really such a pleasure to exhibit with so many other talented Palestinian artists. As Nancy said, my name is Samar Husseini, and I am first-generation Palestinian American. I was born in the United States to a refugee and an immigrant. My father, Dr. Hatem Husseini, was a political activist. He was forced to flee the West Jerusalem with his family in 1948 at the age of 8 years old, and he was not permitted to return for over 45 years. My mother, Lama Husseini, was born in Jerusalem and raised in the West Bank. She taught me that the most valued traditions are a sense of justice, the importance of education, and how to stay strong in the face of adversity. My family also taught me the importance of connection to our culture while showing me the positive aspects of being Palestinian. So I created these sculptural dresses to really share our positive Palestinian history. We have such a vibrant culture and really in the face of adversity, a great capacity to overcome hardships and to persevere. It's my way of preserving the Palestinian practice of embroidery passed down from mother to daughter, while reinterpreting those traditions in the present day diaspora. I use tatris from Palestinian tobes because traditionally the embroidery of these dresses indicates regional identity, the diversity of the culture, and the thousands of years of history rooted to the land. All of the embroideries that are incorporated in my work come from tatris that's passed down to me and tie me to my heritage. So the embroidery is really meant to intertwine into the multimedia layers of acrylic paint, charcoal, ink, collage, and gold leaf, and it's anchoring my heritage to my narrative. The color palette of my art either is influenced by the tatris pieces or colors that remind me of Palestinian landscapes. And I also incorporate my father's writing. He humanized Palestinians in hopes that people would hear him and grow from that understanding. His writing from over 40 years ago still have context and resonate today. There are also Palestinian design elements like the iconic kafiyeh, which is traditional Arab head covering that symbolizes freedom, hope, and also Palestinians' fight against oppression. I use a special mesh wire that's stitched into the canvas to create an effect of fabric, like someone is inside filling the dress. So by taking notice of the absence of the human form, the Taube series really reflects on Palestinian identity and asking the question, without a country or a homeland, how does one's cultural identity survive? These pieces really express to me the beauty of Palestinian culture that date back centuries and the resilience of its people to carry on despite difficulty and suffering. I also wanted to work to inspire cultural and socio-political awareness and create a dialogue of the history and lives of Palestinians living under occupation and those that are also living in the diaspora. It's to encourage the viewer to look beyond the media, to learn more about the challenges that are faced by a nation of scattered people who remain united by their culture, their traditions, and their love of their homeland. I'm very proud to be Palestinian, and I'm blessed to be able to share my art and awe with all of you. And again, I do really want to thank Faisal and Nancy for including me in this exhibit and giving me the opportunity to share my work with all of you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks so much. Sanaa Farah Bashara was born in Nazareth. She lives and works in Haifa. She's currently considered to be one of the most promising artists who sculpt in bronze today worldwide, and is one of the leading Arab women who specialize in this field. Her work revolves mainly around the woman's figure, as you can see, and she is best known for her multi-pieces sculpture from which the viewer can compose a changing narrative and perspective. Her sculptures are installed in public places such as San Charbel at the Maronite Church in Haifa, the Industrial Park in Nazareth, and others. Her work has been exhibited both locally and internationally. We hope you'll come and see Sana's work at the museum, and otherwise you're welcome to visit it online.
And we're looking at the 3 pieces that are in the exhibit here. Certainly, they all move. This one moves around, and there are 2 faces, one on this side, there's another face on the back of this. And these 2 twist around. This sculpture is made of 2 pieces, and you can put them closer or reorient them if you like. Well,
Sanaa, we'd love it if you talked about the work that's behind you in your studio, which is your new work, of course, and the work that we're exhibiting in the museum.
اوكي. يعني إذا بدنا نحكي على التمثال اللي موجود بتقدر تحط الصورة عندك نقدر نحكي عليه، وإذا حدا بده يسألني شيء عليه.
اللي وراكي؟ التمثال اللي وراكي؟
لا، اللي حبيت اللي معروضات يعني.
معروضات هلا بنورجيهم. يعني احكي بصورة مختصرة هلا بحط.
ما انتبهتش للوقت واستنتبهت.
هيهم هيك يلا.
فإذا حدا بحب يسألني على التماثيل، أغلب تماثيلي أنا بلشت بالأسلوب الواقعي شوي التقسيم، وهو التقسيم هو عبارة عن يعني البني آدم هو يعني منفرد على نفسه، وكمان على مكون من قطع، وبتقدر البني آدم بيقدر يغير فيهن ويغير شكلهن. صار له كتير رموز ومعاني. اغلب التماثيل هي مودولار اللي بتقدر تحركها، فكمان بالتمثال اللي على جنب ممكن يتحرك، كمان اللي بالنص ممكن يتحرك، وكمان هذا الدائري هو بيتحرك، فساعة بيكون الوجه بيضحك، ساعة بيكون الوجه زعلان، وفيه زي إشارة ما لا نهائية اللي بترمز لحياتنا.
Okay, I think we've already spoken about the fact that these statues, they're movable, and they have different aspects of them, and the viewer can move them. And Sanaa is saying that there's a lot of symbolism inherent in the design of these statues. For instance, the one on the right, one side of the face is smiling, the other side is frowning. And the other ones also have different aspects of them that you can manipulate by moving the pieces around.
بحب أحكي إنه التماثيل أنا إسا عم بعمل كمان زي بحث عن وغيرت أسلوبي وعم بدرس كل اللي عملته، عم بدرس عن حالي وعن طريق الدراسة عن حالي كمان عم بكتشف شغلات إنه مرات الفنان هو بيكونش واعي للي هو بيعمله، فالتقسيم هو له معاني يعني عن كمان البني آدم اللي مقسم اللي هو نوع من واحد مقسم عن حاله، يعني الهوية تبعته إنه جزء مني هون جزء مني محل تاني، يعني إحنا الفلسطينيين مقسمين كتير محلات، يعني إنه هذا كمان برمز لشغلات من هالشكل.
Yeah, and Sana is adding that the fact that these statues are divided in pieces kind of reflects the reality of the Palestinians, that each person, their life and their history is made of different phases and different pieces. And these works kind of tell that story, you know, and provide a symbol for it. Thank you, Sana. We'll move on now to the next.
Sahar Kamhawi. She's an award-winning Jordanian printmaker whose solo exhibitions at the Zara Center in Amman in 2016, they've won incredible acclaim. Then she supervised fine arts at the Ministry of Education in Amman, Jordan. She earned her BA and MFA at William Patterson College in New Jersey and her BA from the Faculty of Commerce in Alexandria, Egypt. As well as her art project, she's a part-time lecturer at Jordan University and makes magnificent aquatint etchings on paper, which we were lucky enough to attain for this show. The one that you're looking at is called Urchins. As you can see, a landscape made up of urchins against a blue background. Rania Matar is an award-winning, worldwide known photographer. She was born and raised in Lebanon and moved to the US in 1984. As a Lebanese, Palestinian, American woman and mother, her cross-cultural experience and personal narrative inform her photography. Her work has been widely published and exhibited in museums worldwide, including the Museum of Fine Arts Boston, the Carnegie Museum of Art, the National Museum of Women in the Arts here in Washington, D.C., and more. It's part of the permanent collection of several museums, institutions, and private collections. A mid-career retrospective of her work was recently on view at the Cleveland Museum of Art, at the Amman Carter Museum of American Art. In her image, photographs by Rania Matar, and at the American University of Beirut Museum in an image and her women. She's received several grant awards and grants, including a 2018 Guggenheim Fellowship, a 2017 Mello Foundation Artist in Residency grant at the Gunn Gallery at Kenyon College, the Legacy Award at the Griffin Museum of Photography, and the Massachusetts Cultural Council Award Fellowship in 2007. She's published 3 books of her photography as well, and we're incredibly excited to be exhibiting her archival pigment print at the museum physically, and you can see it online. A beautiful Palestinian woman in the surf in Palestine. Ruby Yunus, descended from Bethlehem ancestors. Ruby Yunus lives in Chile, exploring different styles and techniques from figurative to abstract, oil to pastel, mundane to sacred. She writes, I have felt a strong attraction for risk and chance, which hide unknown feelings that flow in watercolor technique, where a just equilibrium between observation and meditation of nature spontaneously result from the colored water traveling over the paper, unquote. Believing her paintings to be, and I quote from her, the most honest portrait of my soul, unquote. She adds, through color, I am able to communicate all that I live and feel, unable to be transformed into words. Magnificent work. They're solar etchings and encaustic. These are called Nebula and Fractal 2, and they're exhibited at the physical display at the museum as well as online here. I hope you enjoy that work. The next person we have is here today with us, Eileen Abdo. She graduated in 2011 with a BA in Visual Arts from the University of Jordan. And she writes in the catalog, due to a strong sense of belonging to my Palestinian heritage I tend to reflect in my art the different feelings, including security, stability, loss, and nostalgia. As Eileen is joining us today, she'll tell you now more about her work.
Hi, I'm glad to join you all today, and thank you for having my piece in this exhibition among many great artists, as you can see. Mainly, if I want to talk about my pieces, I would like to focus more or less on the emotional side of, or from where do I come or bring my inspiration when I want to create my art. And since I'm Palestinian Jordanian and I was born in Jordan, but both my parents lived and grew up in Palestine. And then when they got married, they came to Jordan. So I have this mixture of a visual library that was mainly inspired from what I used to see when I go back to my hometown of Ramallah, and I see old buildings and the architecture there versus what I see in traditional areas in Amman as well. So the combination of this kind of fusion made me think at some point that I don't like to really focus on depicting the location as it is, rather than just showing what I feel when I'm there or when I experience the location. So this painting specifically, I chose to work with acrylics over black cardboard, and mainly black because I wanted to show color coming through the dark tones and the background. Specifically, I'm making use of that dark tone for the depth and let's say contrast of the composition. The more or less the patterns that we usually find in our traditional dresses, such as the cross stitch, is evident in places, but not really in a dominant way, because I wanted to show the texture of the X's more than anything else, which also implies the tradition, the Palestinian tradition, in a way or another in the artwork. The painting's name is Transcripts of Land, and Transcript of Land, and it's part of another many other pieces within a collection that I've been trying to experiment with recently. Some are on cardboard, like in this painting, but some are also on unprimed linen fabric and canvases. And the point is, I'd like to take advantage of how the acrylic actually goes through the linen fabric and stains it, and gives this kind of old traditional fabric of some sort that has been found and then worked with. So I'm trying to make it look more old in that sense. What else? I also would like to talk about the actual vibrant colors versus the dark tones in the painting. And as you can see, I focused on a very dominant corner at the top, where there's extreme white textured brushstrokes, and which basically imposes or gives the feeling that the painting is not done fully, or maybe part of it was faded out due like over the years and stuff like that. So I hope that you like the painting, and I'm again very happy and pleased to be part of this group and this exhibition. Thank you, Mr. Faisal, and thank you, Nancy.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful, as is your work, of course. The next person that we have is Karim Abu Shakra, whose very, very large painting, you might notice this, 49 inches by 116 inches wide, is on display in the entering lobby of the exhibit. Born in al-Fam in 1982, Karim Abu Shakra was raised in a family renowned for its passion for art and creativity. He was especially influenced by the artwork of his late uncle, Assem Abu Shakra, who continuously supported his passion for art and his talent. Abu Shakra's work is inspired by bits and pieces and fragments of his childhood memories, which reflect his deep connection with nature and his surroundings. As he's here today to join us, he'll tell you more about the work. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Karim will speak in Arabic and I will try to translate.
مرحبا عمي فيصل.
أهلين أهلين.
مرحبا لجميع الفنانين والفنانات الموجودين عندك.
He's saying hello to all the artists and the guests.
طبعا بداية يعني أنا بحب أتشكركم على هذا الجهد اللي أنتم بتقوموا فيه من خلال أنكم أنتم تحاولوا أنكم تظهروا قدر المستطاع من خلال الأعمال الفنية للفنانين الفلسطينيين من كافة المناطق.
He's appreciative of the efforts of the museum and the team in trying to exhibit and celebrate the work of Palestinian artists.
طبعا كريم أبو شكرة من مواليد مدينة الفحم لعام 1982 اللي الفحم اللي هي موجودة بالداخل المحتل.
Yeah, he was born in الفحم, which is a city in the northern part of occupied Palestine, and it's a major Palestinian city there.
طبعا الأعمال اللي موجودة عندك الموجودة بالمتحف الفلسطيني هي ضمن سلسلة أعمال رسمتها تقريبا من سنة 2015 ل 2017.
The four pieces that we have at the museum, including this one we're looking at now, was part of a series that I worked on in 2015, 2016.
والعمل المعروض اللي هو صبار 2017 طبعا من سلسلة مجموعة قمت برسم عدة لوحات لنبتة الصبار. طبعا الفنانين والمشاهدين ممكن أو عندهم خلفية مسبقة لنبتة الصبار اللي طبعا أنا تأثرت من خلال لوحات حياة عمي عاصم وأنا كملت مشواري فيها لكن بأسلوب جديد.
Yeah. And the painting we're looking at is part of a series of paintings that I did showing the cactus plant, and which is a Palestinian symbol. And I was influenced by my uncle Asim, who has done work with the cactus, and I'm continuing his efforts and taking them further with my own style.
بس بالأعمال الأخيرة أو بشتد بحاول عمالي قديش بقدر إني أشتد إني أحاول إني أخلق نبتة الصبار بهيئة جديدة بظروف جديدة بشكل جديد. لعل وعسى كمان أنا قلتها قبل مرة لعل وعسى إنه أخلق حالة جديدة من خلال نبتة الصبار. وشكرا جزيلا وألف شكر لكم.
Yeah, and recently I've been trying to recreate the cactus plant in a different style, in a different way, hoping that by doing so I'm helping our people move into a different way and a different environment in the future. And thank you so much for your attention.
Great.
جزيلا.
I think next we're going to have Isra Ahmad Frehat because she is here today. Isra was born in Nablus, Palestine in 1990. She later lived in Jenin, where she graduated from high school. Moving to Ramallah in 2009, she attended Palestine Technical College and earned a diploma in contemporary arts in 2011, subsequently studying at the International Academy's Visual Arts program, where she participated in local exhibitions. She moved to Bethlehem, where she now resides since 2015 and has participated in several exhibitions. As Isra has been nice enough to join us today, I'm happy to introduce her to talk about her work. Isra, please.
لوحتي هي اسمها برتقال يافا، شاركت فيها معكم في متحف الفن الفلسطيني. استخدمت في اللوحة مواد متعددة، استخدمت الصوف في اللوحة.
ايش الصوف؟
صوف.
ها؟
الصوف استخدمت في اللوحة.
صوف. Yeah.
هو
So this, hold on a second. This I'm going to talk about, she's talking about her painting, and she says it's called, Jaffa oranges. And she, one of the materials she used in this painting is wool. كملي هلا بالله.
استخدمت الصوف في اللوحة لأربط الأعمل بعد في اللوحة، بعد جديد شخصي بين مدينة يافا والبرتقال. معظم أعمالي هي عن التوثيق للبيوت القديمة في فلسطين، وتوثيق للنباتات كمان. بحب أرسم كتير النباتات. بصراحة اللوحة كتير حلوة بحبها. وعم بدخل في أعمالي حاليا المواد متعددة مثل الإسمنت، الصوف، الورق، القش. يعني عندي سلسلة أعمال.
Yeah, and I've been trying to introduce new material in my works, including cement, straw, and I also like plants. And as you can see, this painting incorporates some of the plants that I really like this particular painting. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Isra, I do too. I think your painting is absolutely beautiful, and thank you for doing that. The next person that we have joining us today to talk is Namir Qasim, born in Jerusalem in 1984, holds a BA in Fine Arts from Al-Quds University, earned in 2007. An art teacher and art workshops instructor for children, Namir has participated in several group exhibitions, as well as a charity dinner in Amman, Jordan in 2004, where the proceeds were donated to students from Al-Quds University. One of her pieces was presented as a gift to Queen Rania Al Abdullah of Jordan. She participated in the design and creation of the mural on the walls of Yabus Cultural Center during the 2011 Jerusalem Festival. Her painting, Zaga Reed, was featured in the opening ceremony of the Palestine Museum US in 2018. That's the painting that you see on the left as it was just exhibited. As Namir is here today, I'm happy to introduce her to talk about her beautiful work.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. Beautiful.
مرحبا فيصل.
Yes.
Thank you. مساء الخير، كيفكم؟ أنا نمير قاسم.
Good evening. I'm Namir Qasim, and I'm from Jerusalem, and I'd like to say hello to everybody. Go ahead.
اللوحتين اللي مشاركة فيهم هم من سلسلة أعمال معرض رقص سنة 2017.
The two pieces I'm participating with are from an exhibit about dance from 2017. Yeah.
المعرض كان بعنوان رقص، وهو أعمال مستوحاة من فرقة الفنون الشعبية للرقص الفلسطيني.
It was inspired by the Palestinian National Dance Troupe.
اللوحة اللي الأولى هي بعنوان زغريد، واللوحة الثانية بعنوان إناف كفا. اللوحات بتحكي عن الرقصات اللي أدتها النساء الفلسطينيات.
The two paintings talk about the dances that Palestinian women perform.
مثل ما سبق وحكينا بالأول إنه زغريد هي عبارة عن الأصوات اللي كانت تأديها النساء الفلسطينيات للاحتفال في شتى مجالات الحياة والاحتفالات الفلسطينية اللي عم بيعيشوها.
Yeah, the Zagharit is the type of singing, the yodeling, if you will, that the Palestinian women do at various social occasions such as weddings and the like.
لوحة كفا بتحكي عن بتوجه رسالة من خلال رقصة الراقصة الموجودة، ومن خلال حركة إيديها اللي بتحكي كفا لكل أشكال الاضطهاد اللي بتعاني منها المرأة الفلسطينية والمرأة في العالم بشكل عام.
Yeah, the second painting that's titled Enough basically delivers a message about the discrimination and oppression that Palestinian women and other women around the world are exposed to and subject to.
حبيت أوظف أسلوب جديد في رسم التراث الفلسطيني والرقص الفلسطيني، وأدمج المودرن آرت والألوان المفعمة بالحياة بالتراث الفلسطيني لحتى يكون أكثر attractive، أكثر مشع هيك وملفت لحتى نبرز جماله.
Yeah, I tried to mix the traditional Palestinian dance art with the modern vibrant colors.
Let me tell you that Taki Sabatin is a realistic landscape artist born in Husan. His show Holy Land at the Zaya Gallery in Ramallah in December 2015 provided a very unique and very important perspective on the current state of the Palestinian countryside and environment, and pays homage to the beautiful and extremely varied nature of the Palestinian landscape. His desire to study and practice art stemmed from his relationship with the land of his ancestors. His birthplace of Hassan and nearby Batir are part of a phenomenal tract of land that is considered by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, which is at risk. His work is a solid addition to the well-established genre of Palestinian landscape painting, with work identified by delicate strokes and near-perfect depictions, as you can see in his beautiful painting, A Beautiful Palestinian Day, exhibited at the museum. I'll ask Taki to talk more about his work.
بدي أول شيء أحكي عن هاي اللوحة. هاي اللوحة اسمها يوم جميل من طبيعة فلسطين. طبعا طبيعة فلسطين لا شك إنها بتتميز بالتنوع التضاريسي والمناخي والجمالي واللوني.
This piece, as we said earlier, A Beautiful Day in Palestine, represents the diverse Palestinian topography and beautiful landscapes. تفضل طارق كمل.
فهون صار في عندي اللي هو شغف في انه انا ابلش ارسم واوقف هاي اللحظات الجميله اللي هي بتتكون فيها كل محتويات الارض الفلسطينيه من قداسه والوان.
I have a passion for taking these Palestinian holy scenes and trying to freeze them and depict them in these nice colors.
كان هذا اللي هو بداية رسم الطبيعة الفلسطينية في 2014 تقريبا رسمت ما يقارب 40 لوحة، لكن أثناء الرسم أنا غيرت الموضوع لشو عم بيصير بهاي الأرض، فبلشت اللي هو أصور الصور وأخزنها من شان التغير الملحوظ في التكوين الطبيعي لهاي الأرض. بلش يروح بفعل اللي هو جرف هاي الجبال وقمع رؤوسها وبناء العديد من المستوطنات الإسرائيلية على رؤوسها وسفوحها الجميلة.
Yeah. So I started by painting about 40 of these landscapes, but then as I went along, I decided I wanted to document the change that's taken place to these beautiful hills and mountains.
Solange Diaz-Marcos was born in Argentina in 1976 of Chilean parents. Solange Diaz-Marcos was 4 months old when her family became political exiles in Switzerland and lived there for 28 years. Her maternal grandfather, Jorge Marcos Jacquet, was of Palestinian origin from Bethlehem. That powerful cultural mixture, she says, strongly influences her work. She's a feminist visual artist whose work is copyrighted and has been managed by Creole Magen Chile since 2019. I have the pleasure of introducing Solange Diaz-Marcos to tell you about her work. She's been lovely in joining us today. Solange, please.
First of all, I apologize for my English, my poor English, and I don't speak Arabic, unfortunately. Hello, Faisal.
Hello.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here with all of you. I'm proud to be here. So as you said, my family is descendant from Bethlehem. My family was from the first immigration, early 19th century. My illustrations are mainly about immigration and exile. I am currently preparing an acrylic exhibition, acrylic on canvas, about my family's immigration from Palestine to Chile, from Chile to Argentina, and then from Argentina to Switzerland. And each illustration is a tree, and this tree is chosen in relation to where it is. So you can see the third tree is from Argentina. Its name is Exile, and represents the travel from of my mother to Chile to Argentina. The first tree is about Gaza, the situation in Gaza actually. And the second is a tree of life. It's about Bethlehem and women in Bethlehem.
Yeah.
I would like to say thank you to to Sarah Grimaldi from the Café de las Mujeres in Chile. Now she is in Italy, but she was the first to believe in me, to believe in my works, where I had my first exhibition last year.
Thank you so much, Solange. Your work is absolutely beautiful, and
thank you to you.
Yeah,
I'm very sorry. Emotion.
Yes, no, that's great. And you're an artist and your English is excellent. So thank you for joining us and speaking about your work. I would like to just mention the people who were not able to join us today, but whose work is in the show. Maria Eugenia Aquel, who comes from Santiago, Chile, who we spoke about. Nala Asia, who's an artist born in Tulkarem, occupied Palestine in 1996. There we go. Now residing in Amman, Jordan. She's a graduate of the Fine Arts Center in Jordan and held her first solo exhibition in 2012 and the second, entitled Nostalgia for Light, in 2015. All right, you're looking at her beautiful work, Immigration. I wish you could see it up close because the texture of the lines is absolutely astounding. She's also won awards in writing short stories and participated in many local and international exhibitions and exhibits with the Jodar Artistry Gallery in Amman, Jordan. Reem Kadar, Haya Ka'abneb, Samia Halabi, Manal Deeb, who lives in the United States in Fairfax, Virginia at this point, and is represented in the exhibition, of course. And you can access all their work on our site, as well as on in the catalog. We welcome you anytime to the exhibition. It's open 7 days a week. And at this point, I would like to thank the people who put on this exhibition, who we could not have done it without. Now, first and foremost, of course, is the artists who contributed their work and allowed us to show it in Washington, D.C. Also to the founder and director of the Palestine Museum US, Faisal Saleh, for his unerring commitment to Palestinian artists and to showing their excellent work. To Marjorie Goldberg and Zenith Gallery for recognizing the talent and quality of the work of Palestinian artists displayed at the Impossible Dream, and for Zenith Gallery's co-sponsorship in showing the art. To Izzy Ioni and Susanna Lessie at Zenith Gallery for their work in making this show happen. Thanks again. I hope you enjoyed.
Nancy, I would like to recognize a friend of mine who joined as a guest here, Eleanor Shapiro, who she and I attended college together in the 70s, and she had a chance to visit me in Ramallah when I was living there and got to meet my parents there. Ellie, would you like to say something here? There you go.
Amazed. What an incredible project. It's the artwork is fantastic. It's so exciting to see this. It's so exciting to see this museum. And the quality is incredible, just incredible. How do I get a copy of the catalog?
Well, you can order one online starting tomorrow.
Good. Yes. And also, I have friends that are Palestinian artists. How do people find out about how to apply?
Just send me an email.
Yes.
You can go to the website under contact. You could send a message also.
Do we have
Okay,
any
thank
more?
you all so much for your work.
Thank you for coming to the party.
Amazing.
Do we have any more questions, comments, or compliments?
No, it's really an amazing project. Amazing.
Thank you again to all the artists, to the audience, to the sponsors. We couldn't have done it without you. Thanks so much.
شكرا فيصل. كان كتير حلو انك انت بتعرف الجميع على اعمال الفلسطينيين، وكل فلسطيني بيشتغل بطريقه معينه، بس انا حاسه انه في إشي مشترك بين الكل. يعني التنوع هو جزء من كل واحد بيسقل شخصيته او بيعمل بطريقته، بس في إشي مشترك للجميع، وانا حاسه هذا الإشي. يعني في
Yeah, Sana believes that that we have seen examples of a lot of art from different Palestinian artists here, and each one has its own kind of style and stamp, but she feels that there is something in common to all of them, and that is Palestine.
البني آدم يعني بيقدرش يكون منفصل عن هويته وعن ماضيه، وهذا مرات بيطلع بالأعمال بشكل واعي أو بشكل غير واعي، يعني بس كله بيطلع.
Yeah, the people cannot be separated from their identities, and their identity shows up in their work either consciously or unconsciously, and it creates that feeling that a lot of these things have in common.
وشكرا كثير لكم وأتاحتوا لنا هاي الفرصة إنه
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Wow, Faisal.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you to you.
Thank you all. Okay, well, thanks so much, and I hope you would join us for our other programming every weekend. On Saturday and Sunday we have different programming, and once you sign up for one of these, you'll get on our email list and you'll be invited to all future events, and we hope to see you. All right, thank you so much, and we'll see you again.